Greetings, family. Welcome to another one of your Frank 26 YouTube videos. It is the 25th of August, 2019, and I welcome you. As always, we lay the ground rules that this is a speculative investment. There is no date, there are no rates to be offered. If we speak of dates or time frames or numbers, rates, it's not for you to grab onto and say, yes, there it is. That's what he predicted. That's what he said. No, we don't do that, okay? Um, so now that we've laid the groundwork, let's move forward. I'm not going to take a lot of your time. I've noticed that I'm with you over an hour, and I don't know if that's rude, um, but it's a Sunday. I'm sure you want to be with your family, but I do have some issues that I'd like to talk about. Number one, yesterday we suggested that two very important figures, and in my opinion, and all of this video is in my opinion, this whole study in my opinion, we said that in my opinion, these two gentlemen, one might be from the CBI and one might be from the GOI, and they called the media and said, we want you to come, we want you to interview us. When they interviewed them, it was being recorded. This recording is going to now be broadcasted. And we said to you yesterday that more than likely it was going to be happening within a few days. Today, we haven't seen it. Tomorrow, Monday, we're going to look for it. Indeed. These this video broadcasted, it contains the information to the citizens about their currency reform, about their economic reforms, about the budget, many different things, but mainly they're going to introduce new small category notes. The 1, the 5, the 10, the 20, that will coexist with the 30 notes that they have right now. Their ATM machine software recognizes the lower denoms that they're using right now, but once they lift the value, they will only dispense the 250 and 500s because those are as close as you can get to the change of the exchange rate of their currency. The bigger notes, the 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, they just don't mathematically work anymore when they lift the 3 zeros from their exchange rate. But the 250 and the 500, the ATM will still be dispensing it. Along with this broadcasting interview is going to tell them, along with it, your new small category notes, because you see, there's going to be a change in the exchange rate. It's not going to be so low. That's why you need currency with so many zeros. Our exchange rate is going to be respectable, at least up to the American dollar, pegged 1 to 1, which means that we need less zeros. Not only in our exchange rate, but in our currency. Bring those 3 zeros into the bank and convert them into the new small category notes that we're going to give you. Along with that, this broadcast will also tell them we're going to introduce coins, fills. One American dollar is subdivided into 100 pennies. One Iraqi dinar is subdivided into 1,000 fills. It's called fractional banking. The program rate, the sanction rate that they're under right now at 1190, I believe. Although we like 1180, 1190. Yeah, no. The coins, the fills, the new small category notes, the expansion of their economic reforms, none of that will work. the 2020 budget that is a completely different animal. This budget has never been released the way it's going to be released for 2020. It includes everybody. Everybody's getting a piece of the pie, which is the way it should be, equal, not the mafioso style that used to steal every penny from the budget and leave the Iraqi citizens completely in disarray. This broadcast there was only one media television station that was called in for this broadcast yesterday. And because of that, we don't know if all the television channels in Iraq, over 100 of them, if they're all going to carry this broadcast, this interview, that we are calling the second article from the CBI to the citizens concerning their monetary reform. For those of you that are new with us, many months ago, or in fact, it might have been, early this year or December of last year, I can't remember, we presented to those that study with us at ktfolways.com, we said, look, this is the CBI, and look, they're explaining to the citizens what they're about to do with the monetary reform. Now, the article is found in our form under the thread called Final Articles. We already getting people? Oh, okay, there. It's under that thread called Final Articles if you want to see it. So, it turns out that those things that the CBI was doing with Iraq, they got them done. And it's in a long time ago, this was set up. And I think it was December or January, we brought you that article from the CBI. And we said, look, this is the CBI telling the citizens of Iraq, we are about to change the policy. Remember the word, it said policy? And we're going to use tools to do this with. Or actually it said we have. Which, they were Article 8 tools under the IMF. That's the one that we said, this is what we're going to label Article number 1 from the CBI to the citizens. And we then said back then, prepare yourself. They will describe it. They will put it on electronic bulletin boards. Remember when everybody made fun of me when I said that? And they will have bulletin boards inside of the banks and sessions and classes and seminars and universities and hotels, at the hookah shops, at the mosque, everywhere. And they will hand out descriptions to them, which now our Firefly has told us about. And eventually then they will show them pictures. And it is around that time, as security is being increased, our Firefly tells us yesterday, there's a lot of guards at these banks. Yeah, their money's about to become serious now. At that point, as all these things are happening and security would increase, we told you that there would be a form of communication to the citizens, and we felt that it was going to be an article, but it turns out it's an interview that they did yesterday, and they're going to broadcast it, and we don't know if it's going to be every television station because only one station did the interview. We do know that this was an interview solely for the citizens of Iraq to be broadcasted and constantly repeated throughout the day. And the broadcast is not like it's, okay, it's midnight, bye-bye, we'll see you 6 o'clock in the morning. No, 24/7 it will be broadcasted for a specific amount of time. They were interviewed by one station as far as we know. For a specific amount of time, Frank says, huh? Well, Frank, how long, in your opinion, will that specific amount of time be? Why do you ask? Well, because then when that specific amount of time ends, well, then that's it. The next day, they did it. They're going to do it. That's what you're saying, right, Frank? You see, I'm beating you to the punch. Of course not. So what's the amount of specific time, Frank, that they're going to repeat this article number 2 to the citizens from the CBI, explaining the whole monetary reform, their intent, why they changed the exchange rate, the structure, the pictures of the coins, of the new small category notes, the ATM machines, where they can go get them, everything explained to them. How long do you think they're going to repeat this, Mr. Frank? And when do you think it starts? I think it'll probably start, what's tomorrow? Monday, Tuesday, sometime next week, yeah. Okay. And how long do you think they're going to replay this, over and over? The time frame for this interview broadcast, it's unknown. And even if I knew it, more than likely, I would not share it with anyone. Because of what I just said, because of those that unfortunately, there's always one rotten apple. Although I will admit, I have noticed you're posting more on these YouTube videos. You're talking to each other more. You reply to each other. I noticed that. I would say 99% of you, 99.9% of you, 99.98% of you are very cordial and very constructive. And if you disagree with somebody, that's great. Debate is important. Point, counterpoint. You learn, you advance. You learn from not only your mistakes or someone else's mistakes. I want to thank you for that type of atmosphere that you're creating on my YouTubes. I prefer that. Are you having to remove one thing?
Just because we're talking about lops.
Yeah. We don't talk about lops. Well, Frank, you talked about lops yesterday only because I mentioned Iran as a currency manipulator. Here, Donald Trump tells them, straighten up, play fair. Oh, okay, Mr. President. Now, the next day, instead of removing zeros, they added 4 zeros. Seriously? Really? That's what you want to do? That's the message you want to send us? Bye-bye, Iran. No, wait. Bye-bye, Iran. We won't shoot down your drones anymore. Bye-bye, Iran. No, help us. You helped Iraq. You helped Saudi. You helped everybody here. Help us. Bye-bye, Iran. Infidels, please, infidels. Bye-bye, Iran. And that's exactly what is happening. That's exactly what's going to happen to Iran. You had your chance. Bye-bye, Iran. To release the interview, I believe, within a few days. Now, yesterday, in my opinion, it was done. Today, tomorrow, Monday or Tuesday is where I'm hoping for. And when that does come out, I think that it will settle many issues. You may be saying to yourself, but that doesn't make any sense. Why in the world would Iraq tell the world that they're about to raise the value of their currency? Everybody would be buying the currency. Those people, they're called sharks and whales that buy in large amounts. They're students, you know. They know. They've known. They knew long before you. That's well over and done with. Besides, did Iraq tell you when they're doing it? No. What did they tell you? That they're doing it. Walking Stick and I had a talk today. When they release it, sir, all heck's gonna break loose. Yeah, the citizens of Iraq are very well educated. At least in the Baghdad area, it's a little less as you go out into the perimeters, you know, towards the borders. But there is good understanding. They've been told this for years, decades, and they've never gotten it. You heard the report from Firefly yesterday. What did he say? Mr. Frank, there's hope. I mean, we see it. They're telling us, they're describing it. But some of us just tell, you know, we just tell our government, you know, up yours, up your camel. Purchasing power. Help me, the citizens, you, government. Yeah, right. But for the citizen that is educated, and that's usually the ones that are closer to Baghdad, because that's where you have the jobs. That's where you have the schools and the colleges that educate the Iraqis, and they have the better paying jobs. Therefore, they have the communication means to be able to understand, oh my goodness, look what's going on with our currency, with our economy. Wow. Yes, Walking Stick. The citizen in Iraq is still very, very cautious, careful, but they're also very, very knowledgeable now and very, very inquisitive to learn more. You gave me this article? Yeah. Tell me more. We're going to tell you more and much more in the coming days. So, when do you think they're going to release this interview, Frank? In the coming days. The fact is, ladies and gentlemen, this interview that describes very clearly to the citizens what is about to happen to their monetary reform. The fact is, in my opinion or not, the fact is, it happened. It happened. And it will be shown to the citizens as part of their monetary reform education. Education, knowledge, it's powerful. And that is what is being passed on to the citizens. The baton of power, not only in knowledge and awareness, but in their currency. The IQD is soon to be with more of purchasing power. And the citizens' knowledge of this and understanding of this is giving them trust and hope for their country, their currency, and the leadership of their country. When you run a race, you have to pace yourself. You don't want to come out running like a fool, dehydrated, getting cramps, dropping out of the race. But when you see the finish line, it's amazing what happens to the body. The adrenaline, the epinephrine, the L-Dopa, oh my goodness, the brain just fires off all these hormones. And that which was pain turns into joy. And you give it all you've got. Until you break that tape. In my opinion, oh, they did a wonderful job these last 4 years, and they paced it themselves to a degree. And when they saw the finish line, the United States telling them you can use Article 8 tools. Oh, whew, well then we can take care of the rest. Yeah, hurry up. But in the Middle East, hurry up is no. In the Middle East, everything, you take your time. These countries where it's really hot, you do that. Take your time. I'm Mexican. People in Mexico take siestas at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Why? It's so hot. Turn the air conditioner on. What air conditioner? But get all that work done. I'll get it done. Probably about 10 or 11 o'clock tonight, but I'll get it done. In Hawaii, if they say to you, oh, bro, I see you in 15 minutes. How long is it going to take, Tink, before they see us?
An hour or two.
Probably about an hour, yeah. Maybe, yeah, you could go over. Yeah, Hawaiian time. No, bro. Hey, chill, relax, okay? It's too hot. So that's what I wanted to tell you today about this historical, epic interview, prepared, especially well-crafted interview by two very powerful people, explaining to the Iraqi citizens what we told you would be coming. So, let's see what happens. Uh-oh, bad people. There's a, come on, you can tell me. Come on, you can tell me. What did he say? What did he say? Huh? He said, huh?
Bull.
Bull? Who said bologna? Oh, no bologna. A bull? Who's the person? What's the name of the person?
Couldn't even tell you how to pronounce it.
The reason I say that is because when this interview starts to play, I can put their name on a big chalkboard and put underneath that, how you like my bull now? For those of you that have been with me for 11 years, that's our pattern, isn't it? That's our pattern. We tell you something, one or two very immature, maybe raised by wolves, people, I don't know, make very rude comments. And then I stop and I entertain them, huh? Hey, stop it. You're breaking my heart. You already broke my arm. Did you see that, Tink? They broke my arm.
I saw.
It hurt too.
If it hurts, why do you do it?
I know. Well, here, I'll show you what. You see this arm right here?
Yeah.
When they said that something bad, look at, watch. 1 and 2 and 3. Even the bad guys got to be laughing about that now, eh? Hey, that Frank, he don't got nothing in his head. Look, what? Look, I'll show you. Watch. You see? He got nothing in his head. You know what? I don't normally talk about this, but remember yesterday during our call, we got Delta called, Angel One called. Oh, I-Team called too. All 3 of them called. I just realized during yesterday's YouTube. The only one that didn't call was Walking Stick. But Angel One, that does the banking for us, he said, Frank, in our opinion, world markets are about to be shaken. And I said, well, you know something, I'll write up a report and tell you what I think might be associated with that, because you see, the Iraqi dinar is a fuse that is lit, and it's that fuse is going to a few sticks of dynamite. All these sticks of dynamite are in a basket in the Middle East with the IQD and the American dollar. You know something, family? I believe that there is an unspoken currency war that is going on right now. And be careful. I'm not talking about no global currency reset. I don't believe in a GCR. But I believe there's an unspoken currency war going on right now, especially with what Donald Trump has done with many of these countries. In fact, these countries have imploded, and they're not saying much about what they're doing with the United States. You know, the deals that Trump is doing. Today, Donald Trump came out and gave, who did he give? I mean, he gave China. Oh, I think, yeah, it was China. Another big, was it China? It doesn't matter. He's giving them left and right, because the more that you can have deals with fair trade, oh my goodness, the more profit there is for both sides. But when you do it with unlevel, currency manipulation, it's just one-sided. And I can't believe all these decades that I saw our nation, what are we, welfare to other countries? What are we doing? Giving our money, our tax money away to other countries because we're good guys. You think they care about the United States of America? It's just business, man. You don't, they know favors. So for what it's worth, I just think that Trump has got himself, oh, wait a minute. It was Japan. It was Japan. I just remembered. And if I did wrong, what did I say?
China.
I'm so sorry. Please correct that. Let's hit rewind. You ready? And with Japan. Did I get away with it? Okay. And this unspoken currency war that's going on right now might be because of the deals that Donald Trump is doing with many countries. And those countries, if you look at them, they're inside of a Middle Eastern basket that are pegged to the American dollar, but more importantly, to the IQD. Now, what does the IQD, Iraq, and what does that country have for other countries right now? Mainly oil, and everybody loves oil. You know what I'm saying? Even with vinegar, I'll take it. It doesn't matter. Give it to me. Oil, okay? And China and Japan and Russia and Germany, everybody's getting a piece of Iraq. And you think that Iraq is saying, hey, stop, we're going to run out? No, they're telling Donald Trump, keep going, boy, keep going, bring them all in, man. Well, we can't until you raise the bet. We did already. We'll make the announcement. We're doing it. And when that second that broadcast that we're talking about comes out, this unspoken currency war, unfortunately, that's going on right now, a lot of countries, they don't want to come out and admit it. And that's why I say that they've imploded. They don't want to come out and admit that, yeah, we're currency manipulators. We're bad people. No, they don't want to tell anybody. Also, they don't want to tell anybody that, we're being forced by the United States of America to do international trade on an honest playing field. Isn't that right, China? Isn't that right, Iran? I don't know. It's not really part of our study. It really should not affect us. But if you're going past the Iraqi dinar, this would affect you greatly. So, how they behaving, Tink?
Good.
Are they being nice now?
Yep.
Did you poof all those bad people?
Just a couple.
One bad apple don't spoil a whole bunch of girls. Mm-mm. That's an old Michael Jackson song. Anyway, so dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. You want Firefly's report?
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Who said that? Mm. That was so cool yesterday. I could whistle magically. Watch this, right? Anyway I put my mouth, I can whistle. Check this out. Ready? Okay. What was that? So tell me, this interview, broadcasted. Family, if they can tell them about it, they can describe it to them in words, in pictures, but they can't give them to them physically until they lift the 3 zeros. Makes sense, okay? I wanted to repeat that because I got some calls that caused confusion on that. But Frank, they're showing them. You say they're going to show them the pictures. Pictures? They're not showing them the real ones. And they're not putting them in their hands. What good would it do? They wouldn't know what to do with it. What do I do? They have to raise the value first, and then they can distribute them. So they can describe them with words, they can show them pictures, they can tell them about it, but they cannot release them. And that's why this interview, I believe, is important. And I believe that once this replay of this interview has stopped, logic to me would say that here, this is what you've been studying with us. And if they say here, in your hands, then they will tell them that they lifted the 3 zeros electronically in January. That currency in your hand has value. We don't have to lift it. We only have to flip a national switch. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go and see how our friend is doing. Okay, tell him yes, it was definitely part of what we are looking for today because they cannot do this without their own funds. Funds send. Alrighty, so that was what I wanted him to do, and here we go. Hello, Mr. Frank. Firefly77 says the only thing that they heard or have seen on television today was about Baghdad threatening the Kurds with sanctions. It's just threats. It's just threats. If the Kurds do not conform to the 3 conditions, then sanctions would be closing the airport, not paying their salaries, etc. I don't believe this to be an issue. I just believe this to be an irritation. Also, on television, they showed the 3 presidents that met today, and they talked about Iraq not giving in on conditions relating to outside countries. Nah, no comment. The budget has been on television as usual, saying Parliament will actually get the budget in October, and how this budget will be loaded with funds for the citizens and the infrastructure of Iraq. We watched all day for any news from the press conference that you told us about to look for, but we have not seen or heard anything yet. We will continue watching, Mr. Frank. Also, was also big segment saying how important activation, this is important. We also saw big segments as saying how important activation of the private sector and the banking sector and banking sector. Many points were given saying time is here. They were talking about future visions of 2030. But the private sector has begun now, and how important this is. Mr. Frank, is this part of what we're looking for? Tell him yes. It is definitely part of what we are looking for, because they cannot do this with their own funds right now. So, our Firefly is looking. I'm very grateful. Thank you again. What was his name? O'Day? O'Day.
Mr. Fire.
Mr. Fire. Mr. Fire O'Day. He's probably going to get a tattoo on it. Mr. Fire. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll work on these two files tomorrow, and God willing, maybe the interview being released. But that's as far as I'm going to take you tonight. I'm not going to. How long did I keep them on?
36 minutes.
36 minutes. All right. I've improved. Okay. I want you to think about the things that we shared. I want you to take them to God in prayer. And I want you to be reassured it happened. What's the name of our YouTube video for right now? So much in my head. Oh, it's okay, honey. You don't have to look it up.
The broadcast will be repeated.
The broadcast will be repeated. And I promise you, it did happen. And I promise you, like everything else that we've ever shared with you, it may take a day, it may take a year, but you do see it, don't you? And that's what's helped us here at KTFA. By the way, I want to leave you with this last thought. Many of you have asked when you call me, "Hey Frank, nice to meet you. I can't believe you put your number out. Is this really you, Mr. Frank 26? Yeah. So, what got you into this? The dinar? Yeah, how come you got dinars? My father was in the Air Force for 22 years. You make a lot of friends. I'm sorry. No problem. Thank you very much. You make a lot of friends. Now, the other question was posed to me. Okay. But why did you go on the internet? Why do you teach? I said, well, one day, it was about 3 months after my mother had passed away, I went on the internet for the first time and looked up the Iraqi dinar. This was 2008. My mom died in the summer. And 3 months later, I went on the internet. And I typed up Iraqi dinar because, I had bought mine in 2004. And I see somebody being so disrespectful to another person. They were cursing. I didn't know you could type, curse. And they were telling him, oh, you whatever, 386, that's ridiculous, whatever. And, wow. And I read a few more posts. And finally, I entered and I called myself Frank 26. And I made my first post ever. It was at a place called IIF. Anyways, and I said to them, my first post, excuse me, hi, my name is Frank 26, and I'm just curious. of all the atoms that make up your body, which one of them is so angry towards a man that was made in the image of our Heavenly Father? You know, why? And he responds right away and he says, "Oh, we have a holy roller here, huh? Hello, Mr. Frank 26. Mr. Holy Roller. Can I ask you a question? If I slapped you in one cheek, Mr. Holy Roller, because that's what they called me, can I slap you in the other cheek?" And I thought, what? What is this? Wow. So I told him what was in my heart, and I said, "I'll tell you what, sir. If you slap me in one cheek, it's because you had the advantage. But if you attempt to slap me in the other cheek, I promise you, I will knock out every teeth in your mouth before you had a chance. Thank you very much, Frank 26. God bless you." And the next thing you know, that thread in that form, that was November the 1st, 2008. On November the 30th, we had very close to 1 million hits just on that thread. And the owners called me and they said, "You become a forum inside our forum. You got to go." Okay. So I said, bye-bye. Yeah, 30 days of posting. I had fun. I figured I was done. That night, they found out I was gone. And well, I shouldn't say names. These three individuals, one of them is in heaven, Henry Vall. He was a lawyer. I miss Henry. Rest in peace, my friend. You're walking on golden streets while we're still looking for our gold, my friend. Anyways, they all called me up and they said, "Hey, you, because I gave my phone number out," and that was back then. I didn't care. So they said, "Hey, look at here. We like what you do. We want you to lead us in another forum." I said, "I don't have a forum." "Well, we got one. We just put it together." I said, "What?" "Yeah, it's, a fabricated form, cookie cutter form, whatever. Will you lead us?" Okay, I guess. I said, let me think about it and pray about it and talk to my wife about it. So when I went back, I said, "I'll tell you what, I'll do it, but under one condition and one condition only, that we establish ourselves as a Christian-based organization." And they said, "Why?" Well, because the reason I have Denars is because from the same place where the four rivers met, from the same place where the Garden of Eden was, from the same place where the Tower of Babel was, from the same place where Babylon was, the same place where Baghdad is today, I believe that a second wealth transfer is coming from that area, like the first one for baby Jesus that was given to Mary and Joseph by a caravan of three wise men. And they said, "Okay, what do we call ourselves?" Keep the Faith Mission. The following year, we became KTFA, Keep the Faith Always. And that's how it happened. And that's why I'm here in front of you. And I'm not going to stop sharing until we're done. And when we're done and they make the announcement inside of our form, we will still have the information on the banks, their spread, their phone number, their managers, the names, whatever it takes for you to take that information and make a proper decision. Okay? Well, it looks like people are being, no, already. So I don't want to overdo it no more. I promised I'd make it short, and here I'm not. You all take care of yourselves. God bless you. Have a beautiful Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow on our Monday. On our Monday conference call. It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a long one, but it's packed. It is packed. And that's why many of the other sites on the internet come. They come, and we gladly share with them. If they take our stuff to their site, God bless you. I hope it helps you. Have a good one, okay? Family, the broadcast will repeat itself. Family, the broadcast will repeat itself. Family, the broadcast. Y'all take care. Bye-bye. we hope.